I'm a big fan of the Callaway Golf Ball. I'm a big fan of Callaway Golf in general, their products, what they make, and their history. I was intrigued about, and that's what this video is all about. To understand, how did they get started, Callaway Golf Company? They're a powerhouse, at least in the golfing community across the board, whether it's YouTube golf or professional golf. You're going to see Callaway in someone's bag, or at least finding a Callaway golf ball on a golf course near you. But the history, I don't know anything about it until I dug in about the founder, Ely Callaway Jr., who's from Georgia, degree at Emory University. He really got his start in the business world in the textile and wine industries. Who was also an avid golfer, turned his business into a business of golf passion. We're seeing across the board for most of these golf designer companies. 1982 wasn't as easy as just posting online some t-shirts that you're trying to sell. 82, Ely Callaway Jr. took one of the biggest chances of his life. He sold his wine company for a $9 million profit and bought half the shares of Hickory Sticks US company and had a cash flow problem. They sold 51% of their shares over to Ely. However, it's kind of an interesting story. That golf company reached out to Ely shortly after Callaway Vineland Winery was sold. They saw an opportunity. They needed to keep the company afloat, and someone that was passionate in golf was the perfect opportunity. At the time, Hickory Sticks Golf was focused on the shaft of a golf club, a core steel but a hickory shaft type look to it. It was a little deceiving, but it was revolutionary, and it had the major golf professionals, because it was founded by some major golf professionals, none that I recognize. Probably you don't either. We'll drop the names there. They're seeking investors. They changed their name to Callaway Hickory Stick US, and in 1983 he became the president of the company, moving their headquarters to Carlsbad, California, where he then found selling golf clubs out of his Cadillac. Things weren't looking too good, and in 1984 Callaway bought the rest of the company for $400,000, changing the name to its president's name in 1988 to just Callaway. Now, of course, there was some speed bumps in the beginning. The reason why they sold the full amount over to Ely, and they did, things kind of took off more than ever, and they quickly proved to the golfing industry that they were a pioneer. In 1986, Callaway became the first company to use computer-controlled milling machines to ensure uniform flatness on the surface of their putters. A few years later, they introduced the S2H2 iron technology, which soon became the 190cc Big Bertha driver. In the late 80s, Callaway became a big name in the golfing industry. In 1991, Mark Brooks won the Greater Greenberg Open and another major tournament with a Callaway driver, pushing the agenda of almost social media golf back then. The company went financially public in 1992, and by the end of the year, the Big Bertha driver was the #1 senior PGA LPGA club to use on tour. Now, the next year, the Big Bertha had its debut with Annika Sorensen, who was a growing professional, became a member of the Callaway Golf Club professional staff. A couple years later, she won the US Open, which was her first LPGA tournament. Her second one came in 1996. We can go on and on with the accomplishments throughout Callaway's career and as a company, but it all started with Ely Callaway Jr. and his vision back in Georgia of owning a golf company, maybe when he became an avid golfer back then. It all started with a dream, just like a lot of these golf companies that we're seeing today being formed on Instagram. You got to have some passion behind that dream. You got to put some work into, and that's all Ely did in order to become a successful businessman in New York City, and then moving his business to Carlsbad and seeing where we're at today with it. Hats off to the whole company, and hopefully in the near future we can visit one of their facilities. That's going to do it for our episode. Keep a lookout for more episodes to come. This is Parfessor, and we're asking the question, how did it get started?